The Antikythera Mechanism, Ancient Greece's Clockwork Marvel. Welcome, dear listeners, to the first chapter of our series, The Most Mysterious Ancient Artifacts. Tonight, we dive into a story that blends the ingenuity of ancient minds with the enigma of lost knowledge. Imagine a device so advanced that it could predict the movements of the stars, the phases of the moon, and even the dates of the Olympic Games, all crafted over 2,000 years ago. This is the Antikythera Mechanism, an ancient Greek artifact that has baffled scientists for over a century. But how did this mechanical wonder come to be? What secrets does it hold about the ancient world? And why does it continue to puzzle us today? Join me as we unravel the mystery of this ancient clockwork marvel, a tale that will leave you wondering about the true capabilities of our ancestors. A discovery from the depths. Our story begins in the spring of 1900, off the coast of the Greek island of Antikythera. A group of sponge divers, searching for their livelihood in the deep blue waters of the Mediterranean, stumbled upon an ancient shipwreck. As they descended into the depths, they discovered a treasure trove of artifacts, bronze statues, marble sculptures, and coins from the 1st century BCE. But among the ruins lay something truly extraordinary, a corroded lump of bronze and wood encrusted with sea life and barely recognizable. At first, the object was overlooked, thought to be just another piece of debris from the wreck. But as archaeologists began to clean it, they realized they had found something unprecedented. Inside the corroded mass were gears, intricate, interlocking wheels that suggested a level of technological sophistication far beyond what was known for the ancient world. This was no simple artifact. It was a mechanism, a device that seemed to defy the timeline of history. The Antikythera Mechanism, as it came to be known, was recovered from a Roman shipwreck dating to around 70 BCE, but its origins trace back even further to the 2nd century BCE, making it over 2,000 years old. The device is a complex arrangement of at least 30 bronze gears housed in a wooden case with dials and inscriptions that hint at its purpose. But what was that purpose, and who created this ancient marvel, a clockwork universe? As scientists studied the mechanism, they began to unravel its secrets. The device is an analog computer, designed to predict astronomical positions and eclipses. Its front dial shows the position of the sun and moon in the zodiac, while the back dials track the cycles of the planets and the timing of the Olympic Games. The mechanism even accounts for the irregular motion of the moon, a feat that requires sophisticated gearing. The Antikythera Mechanism is often called the world's first computer, a title that underscores its revolutionary nature. But how did the ancient Greeks build such a device? The gears are cut with precision that rivals modern machinery, and the inscriptions are in Koine Greek, the language of the Hellenistic period. The mechanism's complexity suggests it was the product of a long tradition of scientific knowledge, perhaps drawing on the works of astronomers like Hipparchus. But the mechanism raises more questions than it answers. Who was it for? Was it a tool for astrologers, a teaching device for students, or a luxury item for the wealthy? And how did it end up on a shipwreck off the coast of Antikythera? Was it being transported to Rome, or was it part of a larger cargo of scientific instruments? These questions continue to intrigue researchers who use modern technology like X-ray imaging to peer inside the corroded bronze. Theories and speculations. The Antikythera Mechanism has inspired countless theories about its origins and purpose. Some believe it was created in Rhodes, a center of astronomical learning in ancient Greece. Others suggest it came from Syracuse, the home of Archimedes, whose mathematical genius could have designed such a device. The mechanism's gears are similar to those described in ancient texts, like Cicero's mention of a sphere of Archimedes that modeled the heavens. But the mechanism's sophistication has led to more outlandish theories. Some speculate that it is evidence of time travel or alien technology, a device too advanced for its time. While these ideas are entertaining, they are not supported by evidence. Instead, the mechanism is a testament to the ingenuity of ancient Greek scientists who were capable of feats that rival modern technology. The mechanism also raises questions about the extent of ancient knowledge. If the Greeks could build such a device, what other technologies did they possess? And why was this knowledge lost for centuries? The Dark Ages that followed the fall of the Roman Empire saw much of this scientific heritage forgotten, only to be rediscovered during the Renaissance. But the Antikythera mechanism stands as a reminder that the ancients were far more advanced than we often give them credit for, a legacy of wonder. The Antikythera mechanism is more than an artifact. It is a window into the ancient world, a glimpse of a time when science and wonder walked hand in hand. Its discovery has revolutionized our understanding of ancient technology, proving that the Greeks were capable of creating complex machines long before the Industrial Revolution. The mechanism has inspired replicas and simulations, allowing us to see it in action and marvel at its precision. But the mechanism's legacy extends beyond science. It has captured the imagination of artists, writers, and filmmakers who see in its gears and dials a symbol of human curiosity and ingenuity. It reminds us that the pursuit of knowledge is a timeless endeavor, one that connects us to our ancestors and propels us toward the future. As we reflect on this ancient enigma, we are left with a sense of awe at the mysteries that still lie hidden in the depths of the sea and the sands of time. The Antikythera mechanism invites us to keep exploring, to keep questioning, and to keep marveling at the wonders of the past. And perhaps, one day, we will uncover more artifacts like it, shedding light on the forgotten technologies of the ancients. The Voynich Manuscript, the unbreakable code of the ages. In the dimly lit corridors of history, where the dust of centuries clings to forgotten tomes, the Voynich Manuscript stands as a silent sentinel, its pages a labyrinth of symbols that have defied the greatest minds for over 600 years. Discovered in 1912 by the antiquarian Wilfrid Voynich in an Italian monastery, this enigmatic book has passed through the hands of emperors, alchemists, and scholars, each one drawn to its mysterious allure. Its vellum pages are filled with an unknown script, swirling like vines in an enchanted garden, accompanied by illustrations of bizarre plants, celestial charts, and naked figures bathing in strange pools. But who penned this cryptic volume? What language hides within its lines? And what forbidden knowledge does it guard? As we delve deeper into the manuscript's history, we uncover a tale of intrigue, deception, and the relentless quest for truth that has captivated codebreakers and historians alike. The manuscript's journey through time. The Voynich manuscript's origins are as obscure as its contents. Carbon dating places its creation between 1404 and 1438, likely in northern Italy during the Renaissance, a time when the air was thick with the scent of innovation and the whisper of secrets. Its vellum, made from calfskin, is of high quality, suggesting it was crafted for someone of means. But the trail grows cold from there. The manuscript first surfaces in historical records in the 16th century when it was owned by Rudolph II, Holy Roman Emperor and a notorious collector of arcane knowledge. Rudolph, obsessed with alchemy and the occult, reportedly paid 600 gold ducats for the book, a fortune at the time, believing it held the key to eternal life or hidden treasures. From Rudolph's court, the manuscript passed to Jacobus Horsicki de Tepanek, a Bohemian alchemist who inscribed his name on the first page, a faint signature that would later provide a crucial clue to its provenance. In the 17th century, it found its way to Johannes Marcus Marzi, a Jesuit scholar who sent it to Athanasius Kircher, a polymath renowned for his attempts to decipher Egyptian hieroglyphs. Marzi's accompanying letter, dated 1665, mentions that the book once belonged to Emperor Rudolph and hints at its unbreakable code, a puzzle that even Kircher, the master decoder, could not solve. The manuscript then vanished for nearly 250 years, resurfacing in 1912 when Wilfrid Voynich purchased it from the Jesuit college at Frascati. Voynich, a rare book dealer, was mesmerized by its contents and spent the rest of his life trying to decipher it, consulting linguists, cryptographers, and historians to no avail. After his death in 1930, the manuscript passed to his wife Ethel, and eventually to Yale University's Beinecke Rare Book and Manuscript Library in 1969, where it resides today. But why has this book traveled through so many hands, each one failing to unlock its secrets? Is it a curse or a code designed to remain forever unbroken? The manuscript's baffling contents. The Voynich Manuscript is a codex of 240 vellum pages, though some are missing, suggesting it was once larger. It is divided into sections based on its illustrations: botanical, astronomical, biological, cosmological, pharmaceutical, and a section of continuous text that defies categorization. The botanical section features drawings of plants that don't match any known species, roots that twist like serpents, leaves that bloom in impossible patterns. Are these real plants from a lost continent, or figments of the author's imagination? The astronomical section depicts zodiac signs, star charts, and sun-like figures, but with unfamiliar constellations. The biological pages show naked women bathing in green pools connected by tubes, evoking strange rituals or perhaps early anatomical studies. The cosmological section includes fold-out maps with rosettes that some interpret as multidimensional diagrams or even portals to other worlds. The pharmaceutical pages illustrate herbs and roots with labels in the unknown script, hinting at a herbal or medical manual. Finally, the text section is a continuous flow of words in an undeciphered language, with no punctuation or clear divisions. The script itself is the greatest puzzle. It consists of 22 to 25 unique characters, written from left to right, with word lengths and frequencies that mimic natural language. But no known language matches it. Not Latin, not Arabic, not even constructed languages like Esperanto. Cryptographers have tried substitution ciphers, polyalphabetic codes, and even artificial intelligence, but all have failed. In 2019, a team from the University of Bristol claimed to have identified it as a form of proto-romance, but their findings were quickly debunked. The manuscript seems to mock our efforts, its code as impenetrable as ever. Theories that stretch the imagination. The Voynich Manuscript has inspired a myriad of theories, each more intriguing than the last. One popular idea is that it is a medieval herbal guide with the illustrations representing plants and their medicinal uses. But why disguise the text? And why invent plants that don't exist? Another theory suggests it is an alchemical text, encoded to protect secret knowledge from prying eyes. Alchemists of the time were known for their cryptic writings, but no known alchemical symbols appear in the manuscript. A more controversial theory proposes that the manuscript is a hoax, created by Voynich himself to deceive collectors. But carbon dating confirms its age, and the ink and vellum are consistent with the 15th century. Some believe it was written by Roger Bacon, the 13th century friar known for his scientific experiments, or even Leonardo da Vinci, whose mirrored writing bears a superficial resemblance. But these claims lack evidence. Perhaps the most captivating theory is that the manuscript is from a lost civilization, its language a relic of Atlantis or a pre-Columbian culture. The biological section, with its bathing women, has been linked to Amazonian rituals, while the plants resemble those from South America. Could the manuscript have crossed the Atlantic before Columbus? The idea is tantalizing but unproven. In recent years, artificial intelligence has been enlisted in the quest. In 2018, Canadian researchers used AI to analyze the text, suggesting it was written in Hebrew, but their translation was nonsensical, adding another layer to the puzzle. Each theory brings us closer, yet the manuscript remains a cipher, its meaning just out of reach. A legacy of intrigue and inspiration. The Voynich Manuscript is more than a historical curiosity. It is a symbol of the unknown, a reminder that some secrets are meant to endure. It has inspired novels, films, and even video games where players attempt to decode its pages. In academia, it continues to challenge linguists and historians, a puzzle that refuses to be solved. But the manuscript's true legacy is the way it sparks our imagination. It invites us to wonder about lost knowledge, hidden truths, and the limits of human understanding. As we gaze upon its pages, we are reminded that history is full of enigmas, and that the pursuit of knowledge is a journey without end. The Voynich Manuscript stands as a testament to the power of mystery, a book that continues to write its own story through the minds it captivates. And as we turn the final page of this chapter, we are left with a sense of wonder at the secrets that still lie hidden in the shadows of history. The Baghdad Battery, an ancient spark of mystery. Imagine holding in your hands an artifact from a time when the world was young, a simple clay jar that hides a secret so profound it challenges our understanding of ancient technology. This is the Baghdad Battery, a relic from the Parthian era of ancient Mesopotamia, discovered in the ruins of a long-forgotten village. But what was this mysterious device used for? Was it a primitive battery, capable of generating electricity centuries before the modern age? Or was it something else entirely, a tool for medicine, ritual, or even alchemy? And how did a civilization from over 2,000 years ago possess the knowledge to create such a thing? Let us journey back to the cradle of civilization to uncover the enigma of the Baghdad Battery, a spark that continues to ignite our curiosity. A discovery amid the sands. Our story begins in 1936, in the dusty outskirts of Baghdad, Iraq, where a team of archaeologists was excavating the ruins of an ancient Parthian village. The Parthians, who ruled from 247 BCE to 224 CE, were a nomadic people known for their horsemanship and their empire that rivaled Rome. As the dig progressed, the team unearthed a curious object, a clay jar about 5 inches tall, sealed with asphalt, containing a copper cylinder and an iron rod. At first glance, it seemed unremarkable, perhaps a vessel for storing scrolls or spices. But as they examined it closer, a puzzle emerged. The jar's design was peculiar. The copper cylinder was fitted inside the jar, and the iron rod was suspended within the cylinder, held in place by the asphalt seal. There was no obvious purpose, no inscriptions, no decorations, just a simple functional form. The archaeologists were baffled. What could this object be? It wasn't until Wilhelm Koenig, the director of the National Museum of Iraq, studied it that a startling theory emerged. Koenig proposed that the jar was an ancient battery capable of generating an electric current when filled with an acidic liquid like vinegar or lemon juice. The copper and iron would act as electrodes, producing a voltage of about 0.5 volts, enough perhaps to electroplate gold onto silver objects. This theory sent shockwaves through the scientific community. If true, it meant that the ancient Parthians had knowledge of electricity over 1,800 years before Alessandro Volta invented the first battery in 1800. But was it possible? And if so, what was its purpose? The mystery of the Baghdad Battery had only just begun. Experiments and controversies. In the years following its discovery, the Baghdad Battery became the subject of intense debate and experimentation. Skeptics dismissed Koenig's theory as fanciful, arguing that the jar was simply a storage vessel for scrolls or papyrus. They pointed to the lack of any accompanying artifacts that would suggest an electrical use. No wires, no conductors, nothing to indicate a practical application. But proponents were undeterred. In 1940, Koenig published his findings, sparking a wave of replicas and tests. One of the first experiments was conducted by American engineer Willard Gray in the 1950s. Using a replica filled with grape juice as an electrolyte, Gray generated a small current, enough to power a simple LED light. Later tests with vinegar or lemon juice produced similar results. These experiments proved that the jar could function as a battery, but they didn't answer the bigger question: what was it used for? The most popular theory is that the battery was used for electroplating, coating one metal with another using electricity. In ancient times, artisans often used gold to gild silver objects, making them appear more valuable. The battery could have provided the current needed for this process, a technique that would have been a closely guarded secret. But evidence for electroplating in ancient Mesopotamia is scarce. While some artifacts show signs of gilding, it's unclear if electricity was involved. Could the Parthians have possessed this advanced technology, or is there another explanation? Another theory suggests the battery was used for medicinal purposes. In ancient times, electric eels were used to treat ailments like gout and headaches, and the battery could have provided a similar shock therapy. The copper and iron rod, when connected, could deliver a mild electric shock, perhaps used to relieve pain or stimulate nerves. But again, there's no direct evidence to support this idea. Some even speculate that the battery was part of a religious ritual, used to create a divine spark or to power sacred objects. The Parthians were known for their Zoroastrian faith, where fire and light played central roles. Could the battery have been a way to generate light or heat for ceremonial purposes? The possibilities are endless, each more intriguing than the last. The Parthian Empire, a civilization of innovation. To understand the Baghdad Battery, we must delve into the world of the Parthians, the people who likely created it. The Parthian Empire, which ruled from 247 BCE to 224 CE, was a powerhouse of the ancient world, controlling trade routes between the Roman Empire and China. They were master horsemen, their mounted archers feared for their deadly accuracy. But the Parthians were also innovators, blending Persian, Greek, and Mesopotamian influences into a unique culture. Their capital, Ctesiphon, was a bustling metropolis where merchants from Rome, India, and China exchanged goods, sea, and ideas. It was a time of scientific advancement, with Parthian scholars studying astronomy, mathematics, and medicine. They developed early batteries, perhaps inspired by the Baghdad artifact, and their knowledge of electricity may have been more advanced than we realize, but much of Parthian history was lost when the Sassanid Empire overthrew them in 224 CE, leaving behind only fragments of their legacy. The Baghdad Battery is one such fragment, a tantalizing clue to a lost technology. If the Parthians could generate electricity, what else might they have achieved? Did they use it for lighting, communication, or even weaponry? These questions continue to intrigue scientists and historians, fueling debates and experiments that seek to unlock the battery's secrets. Modern experiments and revelations. In recent years, the Baghdad Battery has been the subject of numerous experiments and studies. In 2012, a team of scientists at the University of Leicester recreated the battery using ancient materials and techniques. They found that when filled with an acidic electrolyte, the jar could produce a current of about 0.5 volts, enough for electroplating. But their tests also revealed that the battery's output was too weak for many proposed uses, leaving the question of its purpose open. Other researchers have suggested that the jar was not a battery at all, but a storage vessel for sacred scrolls. The copper cylinder, they argue, was designed to protect papyrus from moisture and insects. This theory is supported by similar artifacts found in the region, which contained religious texts. But if it was just a scroll holder, why the iron rod and asphalt seal? The debate rages on, with each new study adding another layer to the mystery. One of the most exciting developments came in 2018, when a team using X-ray technology examined the jar's interior. They discovered residues that could be remnants of an acidic liquid, supporting the battery theory. But the residues were inconclusive, leaving room for doubt. The Baghdad Battery continues to defy easy explanation, a relic that challenges our understanding of ancient technology and invites us to reconsider what our ancestors were capable of, a legacy that sparks wonder. The Baghdad Battery is more than an artifact. It is a symbol of the ingenuity of ancient civilizations and the enduring power of mystery. It reminds us that history is full of surprises, that the past holds secrets waiting to be uncovered. As we reflect on this ancient spark, we are left with a sense of wonder at the possibilities it represents. Could the ancients have harnessed electricity? What other lost technologies might lie hidden in the sands of time? These are the questions that keep the flame of curiosity alive inviting us to explore, to question, and to dream of what might have been. The Baghdad Battery stands as a testament to the power of human innovation, a spark that continues to ignite our imagination. And as we turn the page to the next chapter of our series, we carry with us the echoes of this ancient enigma, a reminder that the past is full of wonders waiting to be rediscovered. The crystal skulls, ancient relics or modern hoax. Imagine holding in your hands a skull carved from a single piece of crystal, its surface smooth and translucent, catching the light in a way that seems almost otherworldly. This is the mystery of the crystal skulls, artifacts said to originate from the ancient civilizations of Mesoamerica, the Maya, and the Aztecs. These skulls have captivated the imagination for over a century, sparking debates about their origins, purpose, and authenticity. Are they relics of a lost technology, tools for divination, or simply clever forgeries designed to deceive? As we continue our journey through the most mysterious ancient artifacts, we delve into the enigma of the crystal skulls, a tale that blends history, legend, and controversy. But what is the truth behind these eerie objects? And what secrets might they hold about the civilizations that supposedly created them? A discovery that sparked wonder. Our story begins in the late 19th century, when the first crystal skull emerged from the shadows of history. In 1881, a French antiquities dealer named Eugène Bobin presented a life-sized crystal skull at a Paris exhibition, claiming it was an Aztec artifact. The skull, with its finely polished surface and anatomically accurate features, caused a sensation. It was said to have been discovered in Mexico, a relic of the Aztec Empire, perhaps used in rituals or as a symbol of death and rebirth. But this was just the beginning. In the years that followed, more crystal skulls surfaced, each with its own tale of discovery. The most famous, the Mitchell-Hedges skull, was said to have been found in 1924 by Anna Mitchell-Hedges, the adopted daughter of British adventurer F.A. Mitchell-Hedges, during an excavation in Lubantoon, Belize. Anna claimed to have discovered the skull under an altar in a Maya temple on her 17th birthday, describing it as a skull of doom that held mystical powers. The skull, made from a single block of clear quartz, was so perfectly crafted that it seemed impossible for ancient tools to have shaped it. As news of these discoveries spread, the crystal skulls captured the public's imagination. They were exhibited in museums, written about in books, and even featured in films. But questions soon arose. How were these skulls made? The Maya and Aztecs were known for their stone carving skills, but crystal is one of the hardest materials to work with. Without metal tools, how could they have achieved such precision? And what was their purpose? Some believed they were oracles, capable of revealing the future or communicating with the gods. Others thought they were healing devices, channeling energy to cure ailments. The mystery deepened, drawing in scholars, mystics, and skeptics alike. Legends and lore of the skulls. The crystal skulls are steeped in legend. According to some accounts, there are 13 skulls in total, scattered across the world. When brought together, they are said to hold the key to ancient knowledge, perhaps even the secrets of the universe. The Mitchell-Hedges skull, in particular, has been associated with supernatural phenomena, visions, healings, and even death. Anna Mitchell-Hedges claimed that the skull could kill those who mocked it, citing the sudden deaths of several people who had handled it carelessly. These legends have their roots in Mesoamerican culture. We'll say the Maya and Aztecs revered skulls as symbols of death and rebirth. Crystal, with its clarity and durability, was considered a material of the gods, used in rituals and as offerings. But were the crystal skulls truly ancient artifacts or something else entirely? As we explore the history and controversy surrounding these enigmatic objects, we must ask ourselves, what if the skulls are more than they seem? Could they be portals to another world, or simply the product of a clever hoax? A hoax or ancient wisdom? In the 1990s, the authenticity of the crystal skulls came under scrutiny. Scientists from the British Museum and the Smithsonian Institution conducted tests on several skulls, including the Mitchell hedges and the British Museum skull. Using electron microscopy and other advanced techniques, they discovered tool marks that could only have been made by modern rotary tools, not ancient hand tools. The crystal itself was found to come from sources like Brazil or Madagascar, not Mesoamerica. These findings suggested that the skulls were not ancient at all, but 19th century forgeries created to capitalize on the growing interest in pre-Columbian artifacts. Boban, the dealer who first presented a crystal skull, was implicated in the hoax. Records show that he sold several skulls to museums, claiming they were Aztec or Maya. But his claims were dubious, and he had a reputation for dealing in fakes. The Mitchell Hedges skull, too, has a questionable provenance. Despite Anna's dramatic story, there is no archaeological evidence to support her claim, and some believe her father acquired it from an auction in 1943. But not all agree with the hoax theory. Proponents of the skull's authenticity point to their supposed supernatural properties. The Mitchell Hedges skull, for instance, is said to produce holographic images when light is shown through it at certain angles. Some claim to have seen visions or felt energy emanating from it. These experiences, while anecdotal, have fueled the belief that the skulls are ancient artifacts with mystical powers, perhaps created by a lost civilization or even extraterrestrials. The debate rages on, with new tests and theories emerging every year. In 2008, a study by Hewlett-Packard found that the Mitchell Hedges skull was carved against the natural axis of the crystal, a technique that would have been impossible without modern tools. Yet believers counter that ancient craftsmen could have used diamond-tipped tools or even psychic energy to shape the crystal. The truth remains elusive, a mystery that continues to intrigue and divide. The influence of the skulls. Regardless of their authenticity, the crystal skulls have left an indelible mark on popular culture. They have inspired books, movies, and documentaries, from Indiana Jones to ancient alien theories. The skulls have become symbols of mystery and the unknown, representing the idea that ancient civilizations possessed knowledge and technology far beyond what we understand. In the world of New Age spirituality, the skulls are revered as tools for meditation and healing. Believers claim that they can channel energy, reveal past lives, and even communicate with other dimensions. Crystal skull gatherings, where enthusiasts meditate with the skulls, are held around the world, a testament to their enduring appeal. But the skulls also raise important questions about archaeology and the antiquities trade. If they are forgeries, how many other artifacts in museums are fakes? And if they are real, what does that say about our understanding of ancient civilizations? With these questions continue to drive research and debate, ensuring that the mystery of the crystal skulls remains alive. The Terracotta Army, China's silent guardians. Imagine standing in a vast underground chamber where the air is cool and still, and before you stretches an army frozen in time. Thousands of life-sized soldiers, each one unique, stare back with unblinking eyes, their terracotta bodies clad in armor, ready for battle. This is the Terracotta Army, one of the most extraordinary archaeological discoveries in history, buried for over 2,000 years to protect the tomb of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. But what drove this ancient ruler to create such an incredible force? How were these warriors crafted with such astonishing detail? And what secrets do they still hold about the empire that built them? Let us journey back to a time of emperors and enigmas to uncover the story of an army that defies death itself. The emperor who united China. Our tale begins in the turbulent 3rd century BCE, when China was a patchwork of warring states, each vying for dominance. From this chaos emerged a young king named Ying Zheng, who ascended the throne of Qin at just 13 years old. Through ruthless ambition and brilliant strategy, he conquered the 6 rival states, unifying China for the first time in 221 BCE. He proclaimed himself Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor, a title that echoed his belief in his divine right to rule. Qin Shi Huang was a visionary reformer. He standardized weights, measures, and currency, built a network of roads and canals, and began the construction of the Great Wall to defend against northern invaders. But his reign was also marked by tyranny. He burned books that challenged his authority, buried scholars alive, and imposed harsh laws that crushed dissent. Yet for all his power, the emperor was haunted by mortality. He became obsessed with immortality, sending expeditions in search of mythical elixirs and surrounding himself with alchemists. When these efforts failed, he turned his gaze to the afterlife, ordering the construction of a tomb that would ensure his eternal rule, a tomb fit for an immortal. The tomb of Qin Shi Huang is a marvel that rivals the pyramids of Egypt. Located near modern-day Xi'an, it is a massive underground complex designed to replicate the emperor's palace and empire. According to ancient historians like Sima Qian, the tomb features rivers of mercury representing the Yangtze and Yellow rivers, a ceiling studded with pearls to mimic the night sky, and crossbows rigged to shoot intruders. The emperor's obsession with immortality is evident in every detail. He even had replicas of his court, including concubines and officials, buried with him to serve in the afterlife. But the tomb's most famous guardians are the Terracotta Army, discovered in 1974 by farmers digging a well. Over 8,000 life-sized soldiers, each with unique facial features, hairstyles, and expressions, stand in battle formation. They are accompanied by horses, chariots, and weapons, all crafted with exquisite detail. The army is divided into ranks: infantry, cavalry, archers, each positioned to protect the emperor from threats in the spirit world. But why go to such lengths? What fears drove Qin Shi Huang to create this silent legion? Crafting an army from clay. The creation of the Terracotta Army was a feat of engineering and artistry. Each warrior was handcrafted from local clay, with body parts molded separately and assembled. The faces were individualized, perhaps modeled after real soldiers, giving the army a haunting realism. After firing in kilns, they were painted in vivid colors, now faded to earth tones, and equipped with real bronze weapons. The scale is staggering. The army spans three massive pits, covering over 20,000 square meters. Pit 1 alone contains over 6,000 figures. The craftsmanship extends to the smallest details: nails on boots, rivets on armor, even the tread on soles. This wasn't mass production, it was art on an epic scale. Estimates suggest over 700,000 laborers worked for decades on the necropolis. But how did they achieve such precision without modern tools? And what does this say about the society that built it? A civilization capable of mobilizing vast resources for the whims of one man? Mysteries beneath the surface. While the Terracotta Army is breathtaking, it is just the tip of the iceberg. The emperor's actual tomb, a massive mound nearby, remains unopened. Ancient accounts describe a palace filled with treasures, rivers of mercury, and deadly traps. Modern scans confirm high mercury levels, supporting the legend, but why hasn't it been excavated? Fears of traps, mercury poisoning, and artifact damage have kept it sealed. What lies inside? Priceless treasures? The Emperor's remains? Or clues to lost technologies? The Armo itself holds mysteries. Why are the soldiers unarmed in some pits? Were weapons looted, or was it intentional? And what of the unpainted figures? Were they unfinished or symbolic? Recent digs have uncovered more: artisans' quarters, tools, even fingerprints on clay, hinting at the human cost of this grand vision. A legacy etched in clay. The Terracotta Army is more than an artifact. It's a window into ancient China. It reflects the emperor's paranoia and his belief in the afterlife, where he would rule forever. It showcases the skill of nameless artisans, whose work survives while their names are forgotten. And it reminds us of the human cost of ambition: laborers who toiled in secrecy, their lives sacrificed for an emperor's dream. Today, the site is a UNESCO World Heritage Treasure, drawing millions to marvel at its scale. Yet for all we know, much remains hidden. Future technology may unlock the tomb without destruction, revealing secrets long buried. Until then, the Terracotta Army stands guard, a silent testament to a king's eternal quest for power. The mystery of the Terracotta Army invites us to reflect on our own legacies. What will we leave behind? And what price are we willing to pay for immortality? These questions linger, like the shadows in the pits, waiting for answers that may never come. The Shroud of Turin, a relic wrapped in mystery. Imagine holding in your hands a piece of linen cloth, yellowed with age, bearing the faint imprint of a man's body, his face serene, his limbs marked by wounds. This is the Shroud of Turin, a relic that has captivated the world for centuries, believed by many to be the burial cloth of Jesus Christ himself. Its surface tells a story of suffering and resurrection, but its origins remain shrouded in controversy. Is it a genuine artifact from the time of Christ, a medieval forgery, or something else entirely? As we continue our journey through the most mysterious ancient artifacts, we delve into the enigma of the Shroud of Turin, a relic that has sparked debates among scientists, historians, and believers alike. But what is the truth behind its haunting image? And what secrets does it still hold after all these years? Let us step back into a time of faith and doubt to uncover the story of a cloth that may have wrapped the body of the divine. A relic emerges from history. The story of the Shroud of Turin begins in the 14th century when it first appeared in the historical record. In 1353, a French knight named Geoffroy de Charny presented the cloth to the church in Lire, France, claiming it was the burial shroud of Jesus Christ. The shroud, a linen sheet measuring 14 feet long and 3.5 feet wide, bore the faint, full body image of a man, front and back, with wounds consistent with crucifixion, marks on the wrists and feet, a spear wound in the side, and scourge marks across the back. The image was not painted, but seemed to be imprinted on the cloth, as if by some mysterious process. Word of the relic spread quickly, drawing pilgrims from across Europe. But from the beginning, it was met with skepticism. The Bishop of Troyes declared it a forgery, a clever painting designed to deceive the faithful. Yet, the shroud's popularity endured, and in 1453 it was acquired by the House of Savoy, the ruling family of Piedmont in Italy. For centuries, it was kept in Chambéry, where it survived a fire in 1532 that left scorch marks on its edges. In 1578, it was moved to Turin, where it has remained ever since, housed in the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist. But the shroud's true origins are far more mysterious. If it is the burial cloth of Jesus, how did it survive the centuries after his crucifixion? Some believe it was taken from Jerusalem by the Knights Templar during the Crusades, hidden away for safekeeping. Others suggest it was preserved by early Christians, passed down through secret networks. The shroud's history before the 14th century is a blank slate, a void that has fueled endless speculation and debate. The image that defies explanation. The most intriguing aspect of the Shroud of Turin is the image itself. It is not a painting or a drawing, but a faint, sepia-toned imprint that appears only on the top fibers of the linen. The figure is anatomically accurate, with details like nail wounds in the wrists, not the palms, as in traditional iconography, and over 370 scourge marks consistent with Roman flagellation. Bloodstains, analyzed as type AB, show signs of real human blood, complete with serum separation. But how was the image formed? This is the shroud's greatest mystery. In 1978, the Shroud of Turin Research Project, STURP, conducted extensive tests, concluding that the image was not painted, dyed, or the result of any known artistic technique. Some suggest it was created by a burst of radiation, perhaps at the moment of resurrection, a theory that aligns with religious beliefs but lacks scientific backing. Others propose chemical reactions between the body's sweat and the linen, or even a medieval photographic process using silver salts. Yet no theory has been proven, and attempts to replicate the image have fallen short. The shroud's negative image, where light and dark are reversed, was only fully appreciated in 1898, when photographer Secondo Pia took the first pictures. The negative revealed a positive, lifelike image, stunning in its detail. This discovery reignited interest, with some seeing it as proof of authenticity. But skeptics argue it could be a medieval forgery, perhaps created by wrapping a heated statue in the cloth. The debate rages on, a clash of faith and science that shows no sign of resolution. A hoax or a holy relic? The authenticity of the Shroud of Turin is one of the most hotly debated topics in history. In 1988, radiocarbon dating by 3 independent labs dated the cloth to the 14th century, suggesting it was a medieval forgery. This seemed to settle the matter, but controversy erupted when critics questioned the sample's validity, taken from a repaired edge, perhaps contaminated by later additions. Further tests on pollen grains found the traces of plants from the Middle East, while blood analysis revealed bilirubin levels consistent with trauma. In 2002, a restoration removed patches, revealing more of the shroud, but also sparking accusations of damage to evidence. In 2013, Italian scientists dated it to the 1st century using new techniques, reigniting the debate. Is it a hoax crafted by a medieval artist, perhaps using a bas relief technique, or a relic bearing the image of Christ, formed by a miraculous event? The shroud defies easy answers, its secrets locked in its fibers. The power of faith and science. The Shroud of Turin is more than an artifact. It is a symbol of faith's intersection with science. For believers, it is a tangible link to Christ's passion, a relic that strengthens their devotion. Pilgrims flock to Turin during expositions, gazing upon it with reverence. For scientists, it is a puzzle demanding rigorous investigation, a challenge to their methods and assumptions. Over the years, the shroud has inspired countless studies, from UV imaging to DNA analysis. In 2020, new X-ray techniques suggested the image was formed by a burst of energy, consistent with resurrection narratives. But skeptics remain unconvinced, pointing to medieval forgeries, like the Turin shroud's contemporaries. The debate is as much about belief as evidence, a clash that shows no sign of abating. The shroud has also influenced culture, appearing in books, films, and art. Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code drew on its mystique, while documentaries explore its secrets. But beyond the hype, it raises profound questions. What is the nature of faith? Can science and religion coexist? And what does the shroud tell us about the historical Jesus, a relic that refuses to fade? As we reflect on the Shroud of Turin, we are left with a sense of wonder at its enduring power. It is a relic that transcends time, a piece of cloth that has sparked centuries of debate and devotion. Whether it is the burial shroud of Jesus or a masterful medieval creation, its mystery continues to captivate us. It challenges our understanding of history, science, and faith, inviting us to question what we believe and why. The shroud's story is far from over. New technologies, AI analysis, advanced imaging may one day unlock its secrets. Until then, it remains a symbol of the unknown, a reminder that some mysteries are not meant to be solved, but to inspire us to seek the truth. And as we turn the page to the next chapter of our series, we carry with us the echoes of this ancient relic, a testament to the power of belief and the allure of the unexplained. The Dead Sea Scrolls, Ancient Secrets from the Sands. Imagine a desolate landscape where the sun beats down mercilessly on cracked earth and the salty waters of a lifeless sea lap against the shores. This is the Dead Sea region, a place of stark beauty and profound mystery, where in 1947, a young Bedouin shepherd stumbled upon one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of the 20th century. Hidden in caves some high above the sea, sealed away for nearly 2,000 years, were hundreds of ancient scrolls, fragile parchments inscribed with texts that would rewrite our understanding of the Bible and early Judaism. This is the story of the Dead Sea Scrolls, a collection of manuscripts that have sparked debates, inspired wonder, and raised questions that continue to puzzle scholars to this day. But who hid these scrolls in the caves? What do they reveal about the origins of the Bible, and why were they concealed for so long? Let us journey back to a time of turmoil and faith to uncover the enigma of the Dead Sea Scrolls, the discovery that shook the world. Our tale begins in the winter of 1946 to 47, when a young Bedouin boy named Muhammad Ed Dib was tending his goats near the northwest shore of the Dead Sea. One goat wandered off, and as Muhammad searched for it, he he stumbled upon a cave. Curious, he tossed a stone inside and heard the sound of breaking pottery. Venturing in, he found several jars, some containing ancient scrolls wrapped in linen. Little did he know that he had uncovered a treasure that would revolutionize biblical scholarship. The scrolls soon made their way to the black market, where they caught the attention of scholars and antiquities dealers. Over the next decade, more caves were discovered, yielding over 900 manuscripts in total. These included fragments from every book of the Hebrew Bible except Esther, as well as non-biblical texts like community rules, hymns, and apocalyptic writings. The scrolls date from the 3rd century BCE to the 1st century CE, making them the oldest known biblical manuscripts. But the discovery raised immediate questions. Who had placed these scrolls in the caves, and why? The prevailing theory is that they belonged to the Essenes, a Jewish sect that lived in a community at Qumran, near the caves. The Essenes were known for their ascetic lifestyle, communal living, and strict adherence to Jewish law. They may have hidden the scrolls during the Jewish revolt against Rome in 66 to 73 CE, fearing the destruction of their sacred texts. But is this the full story? Some scholars suggest the scrolls were from the temple library in Jerusalem, hidden to protect them from the Romans. Others propose they were the work of multiple groups, not just the Essenes. The debate continues, a testament to the scrolls' enduring intrigue. The contents that challenge history. The Dead Sea Scrolls are a treasure trove of information, offering unprecedented insights into the world of Second Temple Judaism. They include the oldest known copies of biblical texts, predating the Masoretic text, the standard Hebrew Bible, by 1,000 years. Remarkably, the scrolls show that the biblical text has remained largely unchanged, affirming the accuracy of transmission over centuries. But they also reveal variations, suggesting that the Bible was not yet fixed in its final form. Beyond the biblical books, the scrolls contain sectarian texts that shed light on the beliefs and practices of the Qumran community. The community rule describes a strict code of conduct with emphasis on purity, communal property, and preparation for an apocalyptic battle between the sons of light and the sons of darkness. The War Scroll details this end times conflict, while the Temple Scroll outlines an ideal temple and laws for a perfect society. These texts paint a picture of a community living in anticipation of the Messiah, isolated from the corruption of Jerusalem. One of the most fascinating aspects is the scroll's connection to early Christianity. The Qumran community shared similarities with the Essenes described by Josephus and Pliny, and some scholars see parallels with John the Baptist, or even Jesus. The emphasis on baptism, communal meals, and messianic expectation raises intriguing questions. Was John the Baptist an Essene? Did Jesus draw inspiration from their teachings? The scrolls don't provide definitive answers, but they offer tantalizing clues, suggesting that Christianity emerged from a rich tapestry of Jewish sects. The Enigma of Qumran. The Qumran settlement, located near the caves, is another layer of the mystery. Excavations reveal a complex of buildings, including scriptoria, where scribes copied texts, ritual baths for purification, and communal dining halls. The absence of women and children suggests it was a monastic community, perhaps celibate like the Essenes described by ancient writers. But not all agree. Some argue Qumran was a villa, or fortress, and the scrolls were hidden there by refugees from Jerusalem during the Roman siege of 70 CE. The scrolls' authorship is equally debated. Were they all produced at Qumran, or were some brought from elsewhere? Paleographic analysis shows a range of handwriting styles, suggesting multiple scribes over generations. Radiocarbon dating confirms their antiquity, but the exact provenance remains elusive. And then there's the copper scroll, a unique document etched on metal listing hidden treasures worth billions in today's money. Is it a real treasure map or a symbolic text? The hunt for these treasures has inspired adventures, but none have been found. Controversies and conspiracies. The Dead Sea Scrolls have not been without controversy. After their discovery, the scrolls were divided among various institutions, leading to delays in publication and access. This secrecy fueled conspiracy theories. Some claimed the Vatican was suppressing texts that challenged Christian doctrine. Others suggested they contained proof of extraterrestrial contact or lost knowledge from Atlantis. While these theories so have been debunked, the slow release of the scrolls did create suspicion. In 1991, the Huntington Library broke the deadlock by releasing photographs of all the scrolls, allowing global access. Since then, digital projects have made them available online, democratizing study. Yet debates persist. The scrolls' connection to the Bible has implications for faith. Do they confirm or contradict Scripture? And what about the teacher of righteousness, a figure mentioned in the texts? Was he a historical person, perhaps the founder of the Qumran community, or a messianic archetype? A legacy written in parchment. The Dead Sea Scrolls are more than ancient artifacts. They are a bridge to the past, offering a glimpse into the world that gave birth to Judaism and Christianity. They have revolutionized biblical studies, confirming the antiquity of the Hebrew text while revealing the diversity of Jewish thought in the Second Temple period. The scrolls have also inspired a new generation of scholars who continue to pore over their fragments, seeking answers to age-old questions. But the scroll's legacy is not without its challenges. The fragile parchments are deteriorating, and conservation efforts are ongoing. Political tensions in the region have at times hindered research, and the ownership of the scrolls, found in the West Bank, is a point of contention between Israel and Palestine. Yet for all these issues, the scrolls remain a symbol of the enduring power of the written word, a testament to a community's devotion to preserving their faith in the face of destruction. As we reflect on this ancient enigma, we are reminded that history is not just a collection of facts, but a tapestry of stories waiting to be unraveled. The Dead Sea Scrolls invite us to keep exploring, to keep questioning, and to keep marveling at the wonders of the past. They are a reminder that the voices of the ancients still speak to us, if only we have the ears to listen. The Phaistos Disc, Crete's unsolved riddle. Imagine holding in your hands a small clay disc, its surface etched with symbols that swirl in a hypnotic spiral like a message from a forgotten dream. This is the Phaistos Disc, an artifact discovered in 1908 on the Greek island of Crete, a relic that has baffled scholars, linguists, and historians for over a century. Measuring just 6 inches in diameter, it bears 241 stamped impressions, mysterious signs that form words in an unknown language, arranged in a pattern that hints at a story waiting to be told. But what is that story? Who created this enigmatic object, and for what purpose? And why, after all these years, does its code remain unbroken? As we continue our journey through the most mysterious ancient artifacts, we delve into the riddle of the Phaistos Disc, a puzzle that has sparked debates, inspired theories, and left the world wondering about the lost secrets of the Minoan civilization. A discovery amid the ruins. The story of the Phaistos Disc begins in the early 20th century on the sun-drenched island of Crete, where Italian archaeologist Luigi Pernier was excavating the ruins of the Minoan palace at Phaistos. The Minoans, who flourished from around 2700 to 1450 BCE, were a sophisticated people known for their advanced architecture, arts, and writing systems. Their palaces, like Knossos and Phaistos, were labyrinths of rooms, courtyards, and frescoes, hinting at a civilization that was both artistic and enigmatic. On July 3rd, 1908, Pernier's team uncovered a small, circular object buried in the debris of a storage room. At first glance, it seemed unremarkable, a clay disc, baked to hardness, with impressions stamped into its surface. But as Pernier cleaned away the dirt, he realized he had found something extraordinary. The disc was inscribed with 45 unique symbols, arranged in a spiral pattern on both sides, forming what appeared to be words or phrases. The symbols, depicting human figures, animals, plants, and abstract shapes, were unlike anything seen in Minoan script before. They were stamped, not hand-drawn, suggesting the use of movable type, a technology thought to have been invented in China over 1,000 years later. Pernier knew he had stumbled upon a treasure. The disc was intact, its impressions clear, a rare find in the world of archaeology. But as he studied it, questions began to swirl. Who had created this disc? Was it a religious text, a calendar, or something else entirely? And why had it been left in a palace storage room, buried under rubble for over 3,000 years? These questions would haunt Pernier for the rest of his life, and they continue to intrigue us today. A code that defies deciphering. The Phaistos Disc is a linguistic puzzle, its script consisting of 45 distinct symbols arranged in 61 words, divided by vertical lines. The text spirals inward from the outer edge, a format reminiscent of a labyrinth and is fitting for a Minoan artifact, given the legend of the Minotaur's maze. But unlike Linear A or Linear B, the other Minoan scripts, the Phaistos symbols are unique, with no known parallels. They appear to have been pressed into the clay using stamps, making the disc the earliest known example of printing in history. Since its discovery, the disc has defied all attempts at decipherment. In the 1920s, British archaeologist Sir Arthur Evans, famous for excavating Knossos, tried his hand but failed. In the 1960s, linguists used early computers to analyze the symbols' frequency and patterns, but no language matched. Even modern AI has been employed, scanning the script for linguistic clues, yet the code remains unbroken. Theories abound. Some believe it's a hymn to a Minoan goddess, its spiral design mimicking a ritual dance. Others suggest it's a calendar or astronomical chart, with symbols representing constellations or seasons. One intriguing idea is that it's a board game with the symbols as pieces or instructions. But without a Rosetta Stone-like bilingual text, these are guesses. The disc's isolation, it's the only one of its kind, adds to the frustration. Was it a prototype, a sacred object, or a hoax planted by an ancient prankster? The questions multiply, drawing us deeper into the mystery. The Minoan world, a civilization of wonders. To understand the Phaistos Disc, we must step into the world of the Minoans, the Bronze Age people who dominated Crete from around 2700 to 1450 BCE. The Minoans were masters of the sea, their ships trading with Egypt, Mesopotamia, and the Cyclades. Their palaces, like Phaistos and Knossos, were labyrinthine complexes with advanced plumbing, vibrant frescoes, and storage rooms filled with goods. The Minoans had a writing system, Linear A, but it too remains undeciphered, its script a cousin to the Phaistos symbols. This connection suggests the disc could be a form of Linear A, perhaps a religious or ceremonial text. The Minoans worshipped a great goddess, often depicted with snakes or surrounded by animals, and their art celebrated nature and fertility. Could the disc be a prayer or incantation to this goddess, or a record of a ritual, its symbols a sacred language known only to priests? But the Minoan civilization collapsed around 1450 BCE, likely due to a massive volcanic eruption on Thera, Santorini, which triggered tsunamis and climate change. Their palaces burned, their writing lost, leaving behind only fragments like the Phaistos Disc. This catastrophe adds another layer to the mystery. Did the disc survive as a relic of a doomed civilization, a message from a people on the brink of extinction? Modern quests and enduring mysteries. The Phaistos Disc has inspired countless attempts to crack its code. In the 1970s, linguists like John Chadwick, who helped decipher Linear B, tried but failed. In the 1990s, computer algorithms analyzed the symbol's frequency, suggesting it might be a syllabic script like Linear B, but no translation emerged. In 2014, Gareth Owens claimed to have deciphered words like mother and goddess, linking it to Minoan religion, but his work remains controversial. The disc's authenticity is unquestioned. Tests confirm it's Minoan clay from around 1700 BCE, but its purpose eludes us. Is it a hymn, a curse tablet, a calendar, or a game? Some even suggest it's a fake, planted by Pernier for fame, but evidence disproves this. The disc's stamped script hints at early printing, a technology thought invented in China centuries later. Could the Minoans have pioneered movable type? This idea challenges our understanding of ancient innovation. The Phaistos Disc is a reminder that history is full of gaps, that some secrets are meant to endure. It invites us to imagine a world where words were stamped into clay like seals of power, a world lost but not forgotten. And as we ponder this ancient riddle, we are left with the thrill of the unknown, a puzzle that continues to call us back. The Phaistos Disc stands as a testament to the power of mystery, a relic that refuses to yield its secrets. And perhaps that is its true purpose, to remind us that the past is full of wonders waiting to be discovered, and that some stories are meant to be told in whispers. The Saqqara Bird, ancient Egypt's winged enigma. Imagine holding in your hands a small wooden bird, its wings spread as if ready to take flight, carved with such precision that it seems almost alive. This is the Saqqara Bird, an artifact unearthed from the sands of ancient Egypt, a relic that has sparked debates about lost technologies, ancient aviation, and the ingenuity of a civilization that built the pyramids. Discovered in 1898 in the tomb of Padi Iman in Saqqara, this 7-inch-long bird, made from sycamore wood and weighing just 39 grams, dates back to around 200 BCE. But is it merely a child's toy, a ceremonial object, or something far more revolutionary, a model of an ancient flying machine? As we continue our journey through the most mysterious ancient artifacts, we delve into the enigma of the Saqqara Bird, a tale that blends history, science, and speculation in ways that will leave you questioning the boundaries of ancient knowledge. Unearthed from the sands of Saqqara. The story of the Saqqara bird begins in the late 19th century, during a time when Egypt's ancient tombs were yielding treasures that would rewrite history. In 1898, French archaeologist Victor Loret was excavating the tomb of Padi Iman, a high official from the late period, in the necropolis of Saqqara, near the step pyramid of Djoser. Among the burial goods, amulets, ushabti figures, and pottery, Loret found a small wooden object shaped like a bird. At first glance, it seemed unremarkable, perhaps a toy or a votive offering. But as he examined it closer, its unusual design caught his eye. The bird had no legs, its wings were straight and flat, and its tail was vertical like a rudder. Loret catalogued it as a falcon, a symbol of Horus, and it was stored away in the Cairo Museum, where it languished in obscurity for decades. It wasn't until the mid-20th century that the Saqqara bird began to attract attention. In 1969, Egyptian physician and amateur Egyptologist Khalil Messiha rediscovered the artifact during a visit to the museum. Messiha, fascinated by ancient aviation theories, saw in the bird not a falcon, but a model aircraft. Its aerodynamic shape, he argued, was too advanced for a mere toy. Messiha's claims ignited a firestorm of debate, drawing the Saqqara bird into the spotlight and transforming it from a forgotten relic into one of Egypt's most intriguing mysteries. But what evidence supports such a bold claim? And how does it fit into the broader context of ancient Egyptian technology? An aerodynamic design or a symbolic falcon? The Saqqara bird is a small, lightweight object measuring 7 inches in length with a wingspan of 7.1 inches. Carved from sycamore wood, it weighs a mere 39 grams, making it lighter than a modern smartphone. Its body is streamlined, with wings that taper to pointed tips and a tail that functions like a vertical stabilizer. There are no markings or inscriptions on the bird, but its shape is strikingly similar to modern gliders or model airplanes. When Messiha built replicas and tested them, they glided smoothly, supporting his theory that it was an aerodynamic model. But skeptics argue that the bird is simply a symbolic representation of a falcon, a common motif in Egyptian art associated with the god Horus. Falcons were revered for their speed and vision, and similar wooden birds have been found in other tombs, often as offerings or toys. The absence of legs, they say, is consistent with depictions of birds in flight. Furthermore, there is no historical evidence that the ancient Egyptians had knowledge of aerodynamics or flight. Their technology, while advanced in many ways, was focused on architecture, medicine, and agriculture, not aviation. Yet the debate rages on. Some point to Egyptian texts and artworks that depict gods flying in solar boats or winged discs, suggesting a fascination with flight. Others note that the bird's proportions, its wing-to-body ratio, and tail design are remarkably similar to those of modern aircraft. Could the Egyptians have experimented with gliding or flight? Or was the Saqqara bird a toy that accidentally possessed its aerodynamic properties? The truth remains elusive, a puzzle that continues to intrigue and divide experts. The context of ancient Egyptian technology. To understand the Saqqara bird, we must delve into the world of ancient Egypt, a civilization renowned for its technological prowess. The Egyptians were master builders, constructing the pyramids with precision that still baffles engineers today. They developed advanced tools for quarrying, transporting, and aligning massive stones using ramps, levers, and perhaps even water to achieve their feats. In medicine, they performed surgeries and created remedies that foreshadowed modern pharmaceuticals. Their knowledge of astronomy allowed them to align their monuments with the stars, and their mathematical skills enabled them to calculate the Nile's floods with accuracy. But flight? The idea seems far-fetched, yet not entirely impossible. The Egyptians were keen observers of nature, and birds like the falcon were sacred symbols. They crafted model boats and chariots for tombs, so why not a model bird? Some theorists suggest the bird was a boomerang or glider toy, used for entertainment or hunting. Replicas tested in wind tunnels have shown it could glide short distances, but without evidence of widespread use, this remains speculation. The bird's discovery in a tomb adds another layer of mystery. Tombs were filled with items for the afterlife, ushabti figures to serve the deceased, amulets for protection, and models of boats for the journey to the underworld. Was the Saqqara bird a symbolic offering to Horus, ensuring the deceased's safe passage? Or did it serve a more practical purpose, perhaps as a model for a larger flying device? These questions linger, drawing us deeper into the enigma. Theories and controversies. The Saqqara bird has inspired a range of theories, from the mundane to the extraordinary. Mainstream archaeologists view it as a votive offering or toy, a representation of the soul, Ba, in the form of a bird, common in Egyptian funerary art. Its design, they argue, is consistent with falcon amulets found in other tombs. But alternative theorists see something more. In the 1970s, Messiha's claims gained traction with the rise of ancient astronaut theories. Erich von Däniken suggested the bird was a scale model of an aircraft, evidence of extraterrestrial influence on ancient civilizations. He pointed to its aerodynamic shape and lack of feet as proof it was designed for flight, not perching. While von Däniken's ideas are dismissed by scholars, they have fueled popular interest, appearing in books, documentaries, and even museum exhibits. Scientific tests have added fuel to the fire. In 2002, a team of aeronautical engineers built a larger replica and tested it in a wind tunnel. It demonstrated stable gliding capabilities, but without propulsion, it couldn't sustain flight. This supports the glider theory, but doesn't prove ancient Egyptians built flying machines. Skeptics note the bird lacks a horizontal stabilizer, essential for controlled flight, suggesting it's not aerodynamic after all. The controversy extends to the bird's age, dated to the late period, 664-332 BCE. It coincides with a time of cultural exchange, when Egyptians traded with Greeks and Persians. Could foreign influences have inspired its design? Or is it purely Egyptian, a symbol of the soul's flight to the afterlife? These debates keep the mystery alive, inviting us to question what we know about ancient technology. A legacy of intrigue and inspiration. The Saqqara bird may be small, but its impact is immense. It has inspired books, documentaries, and even aircraft designs, with some engineers studying its shape for modern gliders. In popular culture, it appears in theories about ancient flight, from von Däniken's Chariots of the Gods to TV shows like Ancient Aliens. Museums display replicas, drawing visitors eager to ponder its secrets. But the bird's true legacy is the way it challenges our assumptions. If ancient Egyptians could craft such an aerodynamic form, what else might they have known? Did they experiment with flight, or was it coincidence? As we reflect on this winged enigma, we are left with a sense of wonder at the ingenuity of our ancestors and the mysteries that still lie hidden in the sands of time. The Saqqara Bird invites us to keep exploring, to keep questioning, and to keep marveling at the wonders of the past. And perhaps, one day, its secrets will take flight, revealing truths we never imagined. The Sphinx of Giza, guardian of secrets. Imagine standing in the shadow of a colossal figure, its lion body stretched across the desert sands, its human face gazing eternally toward the east. This is the Great Sphinx of Giza, a monument that has watched over the pyramids for over 4,500 years, its enigmatic smile hiding secrets that have puzzled humanity for millennia. Carved from a single block of limestone, the Sphinx is one of the largest and oldest statues in the world, a symbol of ancient Egypt's grandeur and mystery. But who built this majestic guardian? What purpose does it serve? And what hidden truths lie buried beneath its paws? As we conclude our journey through the unsolved mysteries of the ancient world, let us delve into the enigma of the Sphinx, a creature that has guarded its secrets through the ages, whispering riddles to those who dare to listen, a guardian born of stone. Our story begins around 2500 BCE, during the reign of Pharaoh Khafre, the son of Khufu, builder of the Great Pyramid. According to traditional Egyptology, Khafre commissioned the Sphinx as a guardian for his pyramid complex, carving it from the limestone bedrock of the Giza Plateau. The Sphinx's face is believed to be a likeness of Khafre himself, a divine king portrayed as a lion, symbolizing strength and wisdom. Its body stretches 240 feet long and 66 feet high, a monumental feat of engineering that required thousands of workers and years of labor. But the Sphinx's origins are not as clear-cut as they seem. Some scholars argue that it predates Khafre, perhaps built during the earlier dynasty, or even by a pre-dynastic civilization. The Sphinx's head is disproportionately small compared to its body, suggesting it may have been recarved from an older statue, perhaps a lion or an Anubis figure. Geologists like Robert Schoch have studied the erosion patterns on the Sphinx's enclosure, claiming that water erosion indicates it was built during a wetter climate, possibly 5,000 to 7,000 BCE, long before the pyramids. This theory challenges the conventional timeline, hinting at a lost civilization that predates ancient Egypt. If true, who were these ancient builders, and what cataclysm wiped them from history? The riddle of the Sphinx. The Sphinx has long been associated with riddles, most famously in the Greek myth of Oedipus, where it posed the question, what walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 at noon, and 3 in the evening? The answer, man, symbolizes the stages of life. But the Sphinx's true riddle is its purpose. Was it a guardian of the pyramids, protecting the pharaoh's eternal rest? Or did it serve a more esoteric function? Ancient Egyptians called it Hu, meaning the guardian, and associated it with Horus, the falcon god. Its position, facing east, aligns with the rising sun, suggesting a solar cult connection. The Sphinx may have been part of a larger astronomical complex, with the pyramids representing Orion's belt. Edgar Cayce, the American psychic, claimed the Sphinx guards a hall of records beneath its paws, containing knowledge from Atlantis. While Cayce's visions are dismissed by mainstream science, ground-penetrating radar has detected anomalies beneath the Sphinx, including cavities that could be chambers. In 1992, a team led by John Anthony West and Robert Schoch drilled into the bedrock, finding evidence of man-made structures. What lies in those hidden spaces? Ancient texts? Artifacts from a lost civilization? The Egyptian authorities have restricted further exploration, leaving the question unanswered. Another mystery is the Sphinx's missing nose. Legend blames Napoleon's soldiers in 1798, but sketches from 1737 show it already gone. Some say Muslim iconoclasts defaced it in the 14th century, viewing it as idolatrous. The truth remains buried, like so much of the Sphinx's history. Erosion and the age debate. The Sphinx's weathering patterns are at the heart of the age debate. Traditional Egyptologists attribute the erosion to wind and sand, but geologists like Schoch argue it's water erosion from heavy rains, which hasn't occurred in Giza since 5000 BCE. This pushes the Sphinx's construction back thousands of years, predating the pyramids. If true, it suggests an older civilization, perhaps the Atlanteans, or a pre-dynastic Egyptian culture with advanced knowledge. Critics counter that the erosion could be from underground water or dew, but the debate rages on. Seismic surveys in the 1990s detected a large chamber beneath the Sphinx's left paw, fueling speculation of a hall of records. Edgar Cayce predicted its discovery in 1998, but it remains sealed. Zahi Hawass, a former Minister of Antiquities, has explored the area but found nothing conclusive. Is there a chamber? What does it hold? The Sphinx keeps its silence, its gaze fixed on the horizon. The Sphinx in myth and legend. The Sphinx has inspired myths across cultures. In Egyptian lore, it was a protector, associated with Horus or Ra. The Greeks saw it as a monster posing riddles, slain by Oedipus. In modern times, it's linked to extraterrestrials or lost civilizations. Some believe the Sphinx is part of a larger astronomical complex, aligned with Leo during the Age of Leo around 10,500 BCE, supporting the older dating theory. The Sphinx's human lion form symbolizes wisdom and strength, perhaps representing the pharaoh as a divine guardian. But its disproportionate head suggests recarving, originally a lion or Anubis, reshaped into Khafra's likeness. If so, who built the original? What was its purpose? These questions add layers to the mystery, drawing us deeper into the enigma. Modern exploration and ongoing debate. In recent decades, the Sphinx has been the focus of intense study and controversy. The 1990s saw the Sphinx project, using ground-penetrating radar to map subsurface anomalies. They found cavities, but excavations were limited. In 2010, Hawass drilled into the Sphinx's back, finding nothing but solid rock. Yet reports of tunnels beneath the paws persist, fueled by Cayce's visions and local legends. The Sphinx's restoration has sparked debate too. Efforts to repair erosion have been criticized for using inappropriate materials, potentially causing more harm. Political and religious sensitivities in Egypt complicate research, with some viewing alternative theories as threats to traditional history. But the Sphinx endures, its gaze unchanging. It stands as a symbol of Egypt's ancient glory, a guardian of secrets that may never be fully revealed. As we reflect on this timeless enigma, we are left with the thrill of the unknown, a reminder that history is full of puzzles waiting to be solved. The Sphinx of Giza invites us to keep exploring, to keep questioning, and to keep marveling at the wonders of the past. And perhaps, one day, its secrets will be unveiled, shedding light on a world long lost to time. As we conclude our series on the unsolved mysteries of the ancient world, I want to thank you, dear listeners, for joining me on this journey through time and enigma. From the depths of the ocean to the heights of the pyramids, we have explored the wonders that continue to baffle and inspire us. May these stories linger in your thoughts as you drift into sleep, and may your dreams be filled with the whispers of history. Good night and sweet dreams.